Just let the time pass. Hours turning into days. Days turning into weeks. And weeks turning into months. Allow yourself to be with your pain, to be with your fear, to be with the frustration. Allow yourself to be with not knowing what to do. Allow your heart to ache. And then allow yourself to feel it, surrendering to it, opening yourself to it, allowing yourself to mourn, to grieve, allowing the time to pass until one day you realize that you're okay. You wake up one day, or in a moment, it suddenly occurs to you that you're okay. Most of the time, nothing has changed in the external physical realm, but you've changed. And in a moment, all the pain, all the frustration, it seemingly dissolves. We're knowing ourselves through our relationships, through our problems, through our challenges. We're knowing ourselves. So we let the time pass. And as the time passes, it brings healing. I often set out to master a difficult yoga posture, maybe a fancy arm balance. And when I first set out to master whatever the posture is, much of the time I feel myself just falling out of the pose. But every day I commit to practice, and every day I fall out of the pose. Sometimes I think, well, my arm won't go there or my leg won't go there, but I just keep failing, quote unquote. And then one day, maybe it's a year later, maybe it's months, maybe it's only weeks, but one day I'll go to get in the posture, and I realize that I'm in the posture. And I'm always amazed at how all of my seeming failures were not failures at all, but they were part of the process. It was part of figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and how to correct myself, or how to refine the posture. And it's this way in our lives. All of our failures are part of the success. Life, this process, every day, seemingly failing and falling down, where nothing seems to be working out, but we keep trying. This is the process. This is part of our success. This is part of becoming who we are. I've often asked myself, what if I knew that I would be okay? What if I really knew that I'm okay? Well, if I really knew that I was okay, then I would just allow myself to be here in this moment, opening myself to learn whatever it is that life is trying to teach me. I could just be in the moment. If I knew if I really knew that I was going to be okay, then I wouldn't have anything to worry about. I would know that this too shall pass. It's just a phase. What if you knew that through your pain was your ultimate power? What if you knew that life was preparing you for what it has prepared for you? That every place that you've been in your life has prepared you for this moment, whatever that moment may be. What if you knew that through your pain, through your struggle, through this dark night of your soul, that you would gain incredible confidence, strength, courage, belief in life, love, overall good, God, yourself? What if you knew that where you're at right now would give you empathy, compassion, and kindness to inspire and to touch the lives of others? You know that we're starved for human connection. We're all starved to be seen. We want to be seen, to be heard. And when we bare our soul, when we bear those uncomfortable moments, our failures, maybe things that we're not proud of, when we share those with others, when we share our peculiarities, our weaknesses, maybe our weirdness. I know sometimes I'm weird, or sometimes I think that people may think I'm weird, but that's okay. But what if you knew by sharing that, by bearing what's really in your soul, in your heart, that you would inspire people? When we are authentically ourselves and when we share those uncomfortable moments, when we share the pain in our lives with others, we inspire others. Our lives, our stories of pain and struggle and trial and hardship, that's how we inspire others. Our life is a ministry to the world by sharing and telling our stories. I want to face my fears. I want to go through my fears. I want to dig it up. I want to be almost barbaric in uprooting my ego and every single thing within me that is impure or unholy. I want to face it. I want to dig it up. I want to cry. I want it to get messy because I want true change. True miracles come from the human heart, from love, from forgiving. You know, when we forgive someone of a wrong that's been committed, when we forgive someone, there is this washing, cleansing, purging, healing feeling that transpires. And unless someone does something that needs to be forgiven, then we could never have the experience of forgiveness. And you know, as the older that I get, the more of life that I experience, the more challenges I face and overcome, I realize that all I really want is to be myself, to be who I am. And I have been finding that I am incapable of being anything but myself. I absolutely must be myself. I cannot conform to the world. I cannot conform to society, and nor do I have any desire to. I believe it was Ralph Waldo Emerson said that truly the the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you really are. And I have found that to be true. Many years ago, I was taking a yoga class, and at the close of class, we were lying in Savasana. And the teacher said, maybe life isn't about becoming anything. Maybe life is about unbecoming everything that you're not, so that you can be who you really are. A few months ago, my daughter, Faith, was upset with me. And we were driving in the car, and she looked over at me and she said, "You are a shitty mom. You are the shittiest mom ever." And it kind of felt, in a way, like a slap in the face. And I just paused for a moment, and I didn't say anything, and I felt the pain well up inside of me. But in that moment, I was completely present and I was aware. And I just opened to the pain and to the flood of emotions. And I just allowed myself to be with it, to feel it, and to not resist it. And I looked at my daughter and I said, "All right, you're right. Maybe I am a shitty mother, and I'm not going to defend myself. I actually understand the way that you feel, and you're not wrong for your feelings." And I said, I understand that right now my best isn't very good. But there have been times that my best was much better than it is now. And I said, Faith, just because I'm your mom and I'm 46 years old and I've lived a lot more life than you are, it doesn't mean that I'm perfect. I don't have all of the answers. I just wing it most of the time. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I said, and I'm sorry. I said, I understand the way that you feel. And I have also had feelings about my own mother. And when Faith expressed those feelings to me, I realized that my mom was always doing the best that she could with where she was at in her life. And I told Faith in that moment, I said, one thing that I do know is that I love you, and that all I want for you is to be happy. I would prefer your happiness over mine, and I would take your pain if I could. But I'm definitely not perfect. And especially in that moment, I realized that really we don't need to defend ourselves. We're here in the flesh, and we're learning, and every moment, every experience, every challenge has something to teach us. And if we can just open to it, there's something beautiful that transpires. And in that moment in the car with Faith, when I just said, "You're right, I am a shitty mother," she completely stopped. She just looked at me stunned that I didn't defend myself. And it was really the end of the conversation. After my divorce and ending my marriage of 20 years, previously, this has been a number of years ago, Faith is the one who suffered the most and the one who really got the brunt of it. So that's the reason for that conversation in the car. Really, I've realized that all I've ever wanted, all I've ever hungered for and longed for, desired, was truth. Truth. To know the truth of myself, of life. To allow the truth to unfold within me, to reveal itself within me, to see beyond the physical, beyond form, and to serve, to be the very best person that I can be. And I've always prayed inwardly, God, the universe, my soul, I'm willing to go through and experience whatever I need to know truth, to see with the eyes of truth, to hear with the ears of truth. I am willing to go through whatever is necessary to master this thing that we call life. And I've yearned and craved wisdom in every way, truth in all ways. And I have found that really I am a truth warrior. That's how I think of myself. And thus I have found that life emotionally for me has been challenging. It seems like, I have been put through a series of vicissitudes in which to know myself through, knowing myself through my work, through my relationships, through my seeming failures, sometimes being humiliated. But right now I'm in Zion, in a place called Zion Mountain Ranch, sitting on the front porch. And it's so peaceful here. And whenever I come here, I often wonder, what was I so upset about? I think that we're so busy in life. We just see the physicality of things. There's people everywhere, there's noise, there's buildings. We're so distracted by material things that we're mesmerized by all of this. But when we go out into a nature where it's quiet or still, most of the time Elaine and I will come here, and it's only for one day, for one night. But it feels like we're here for a long time because it's almost like time stands still. The quietness and the stillness of nature, the beauty of mountains, the animals, the vegetation, it kind of puts everything into perspective. And so my only aim in life is truth, is to allow myself to go through this process, to allow the time to pass. And inwardly I pray, I talk to myself, to my soul, I want more of you. My soul, I want more of you. I've had it all, but what I want is more of you. Prepare me inwardly to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, strong and true. Here's my cup. I lift it up. Fill it up to the brim and overflowing with love. So, as we let the time pass, the hours turning into days, the days turning into weeks, the weeks turning into months, and maybe the months turning into years. As we let the time pass, we take time to be mindful. We take time for ourselves through daily self-care, through some sort of spiritual practice in which to connect with ourselves, in which to know ourselves, whether it be yoga or riding your bike, whether it be journaling and expressing how you feel, gaining more clarity. Maybe it's taking a bath with salts or bubble bath, with candles, with a glass of wine or hot tea, and allowing yourself to soak in the tub, nurturing your body, allowing yourself to be alone with yourself in the quietness, Maybe it's taking time to meditate, to read. It's a wonderful thing to listen to audiobooks, to read. I've turned my car into a drive time university. I listen to Oprah's Super Soul Sunday podcasts, or I stream the videos while I'm driving, while I'm getting ready for work. Maybe it's listening to beautiful music and saying affirmations, going for a walk and focusing on your breath, noticing the rise and fall of your chest, the air in your lungs. Maybe putting your phone down or your iPad down and taking the time to look around you, to really see what's going on, to see the people around you, to notice the sounds, the smells. But it's about self-care, taking care of you first so that you have something to give to those that you share your life with. You cannot give anything that you don't already have. If you don't have money in the bank, you can't give someone money. So take care of yourself first. Sometimes we make a bigger deal about things than they really are. I meditate while I'm driving, playing beautiful music, following my breath, noticing my breath. Sometimes I say affirmations. So take time for you. Take a yoga class. Go ride your bike. Go for a walk. Maybe lie in your bed in the morning when you wake up, before you get up, and think about what you'd like to do with your day. Or maybe take the time to journal. Namaste.